James Smart. I had heard of connections with the beginnings of Scientology and Dianetics with certain occult practices, and that L. Ron Hubbard was interested in some occult subjects. Given that the internet can be an unreliable source of information on such topics, are you able to shed a little more light on the matter? Also, thank you for creating content that is both informative and entertaining. I hadn't really paid a lot of attention to this until fairly recently when I was looking into L. Ron Hubbard's life and looking to answer the question for myself once and for all whether he was a con man or whether he had really believed in what he was doing when he started Dianetics and Scientology. And I've come up with an answer to that question, and I'm putting it in my book, and there's a whole chapter on it. And so I had to look into this period in the 1940s, between 1945 or so and 1950 when Dianetics was written, because it's a very interesting period of time. And it's a time when L. Ron Hubbard hooked up with Jack Parsons, who was a rocket scientist at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California. And Hubbard stayed in Parsons' mansion, and he practiced the occult with Jack Parsons. There's no question about it. He absolutely did that. And from that, I'm sure he learned a great number of things that he plagiarized for his materials in Scientology later on. I don't have it all nailed yet as to exactly what he did and didn't take from that, because I'm actually still in the middle of studying it myself. But did that happen? Yes, it did. Now, I think probably the best resource to get a complete answer to the question on this is Russell Miller's book, Barefaced Messiah, which is an amazing biography on L. Ron Hubbard and covers this in great detail. Russell Miller was an amazing author in going through and researching and interviewing people on this subject. Hubbard got involved with Parsons, I believe, because he did actually have occult leanings and some occult beliefs. And I believe that because of what came out in what Hubbard wrote in 1946, 1947, thereabouts, which are later referred to as the Affirmations. A very powerful set of documents that Hubbard wrote as a sort of series of self-hypnosis commands. This was after he was involved with Parsons. He engaged in a con on Parsons and ripped him off for a bunch of money, and got caught out by Parsons on that and took off. And after that happened, Hubbard wrote these affirmations, and they're available online, and they're absolutely fascinating in terms of a window into this guy's psyche. But in those affirmations, which Hubbard never meant anybody else to ever lay eyes on, he talks about his guardian angel, and he even talks about Jack Parsons and how he considers him still a friend, which is totally bizarre, and talks in there about things that clearly indicate that he's got occult beliefs. So I think he really believed that. Now, as to how much that belief bled into Dianetics and Scientology, that's another matter.